Okay, so we continue with this holy instant, what I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. This holy instant, what I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. And if I need a word to help me, he will give it to me. If I need a thought, that will he also give. And if I need but stillness and a tranquil open mind, these are the gifts I will receive of him. He is in charge by my request, and he will hear and answer me, because he speaks for God my Father and his Holy Son. He will hear and answer me, because he speaks for God my Father and his Holy Son.
So we can open up to this soft, flowing experience. Being open to spirit. The stillness. The truth. No call will be left unanswered. If the call is for God or for healing. So we can just release whatever thoughts are going on the surface. Just can easily let them go. And stay in this openness. The Holy Spirit comes to the still mind. It is in the still mind. It is the still mind. In quietness are all things answered. In quietness are all things answered, and every problem is quietly resolved. In conflict, there can be no answer. Time is not involved because every problem can be answered now. But in a limited state of mind, solution is impossible. Therefore, God has given a way of reaching to another state of mind in which the answer is already there. Such is the holy instant. It is here that all your problems should be brought and left. Here they belong, for here their answer is. It must be pointless to attempt to solve a problem where the answer cannot be. Yet, just as surely, it must be resolved if it is brought to where the answer is. In quietness. Attempt to solve no problem, but within the holy instant's surety. For there the problem will be answered and resolved. Outside there will be no solution, for there is no answer that could be found. Outside, nowhere outside, a single simple question is never asked. The world can only ask a double question. One with many answers can have no answers. None of them will do. It does not ask a question to be answered, but only to restate its point of view. The way this world asks questions is a statement of a point of view. All questions asked within this world are a way of looking, not a question asked. A question asked in hate cannot be answered because it is an answer in itself. A double question asks and answers, both attesting the same thing in different forms. The world asks but one question. It is this: of these illusions, which of them is true? Which ones establish peace and offer joy? And which can bring escape from all the pain of which this world is made? Whatever form the question takes, its purpose is the same. It asks but to establish sin as real, and answers in the form of preference. Which sin do you prefer? So this is when we try to change the form, it feels meaningless. Or fix the form. Even to treat an illness. It's because there is fear of awakening. And this is going on, and this is going on in time. But for the real answer, no time is required. In quietness are all answers, and all problems quietly resolved. So we can almost define time as problem. Time versus the present moment. In the present moment are all questions answered. It does say, attempt not to solve any problems outside of the holy instant. So if you perceive a problem, the solution is to seek the holy instant. It's nice that we have that possibility and that capacity. Quiet the mind. So the purpose for any question that is asked in this world, he says, is to establish sin as real. And the answer is a form of preference. Which sin do you prefer? That is the one that you should choose. The others are not true. What can the body get that you would want the most of all? The body is your servant and also your friend. But tell it what you want and it will serve you lovingly and well. And this is not a question, for it tells you what you want and where to go for it. It leaves no room to question its beliefs, except that what it states takes questions form. It's just beliefs. Questions asked in the world are just statements of beliefs. A pseudo question has no answer. It dictates the answer even as it asks. Thus is all questioning within the world a form of propaganda for itself. Just as the body's witnesses are but the senses from within itself, so are the answers to the questions of the world contained within the questions that are asked. Where answers represent the questions, they add nothing new and nothing has been learned. So fixing the form with another form, nothing has really happened. Other than maybe a little bit of, we could even say, waste of time. An honest question is a learning tool that asks for something that you do not know. It does not set conditions for response, but merely asks what the response should be. But no one in a conflict state is free to ask this question, for he does not want an honest answer where the conflict ends. That's why wisdom would be to just observe this craziness. That's why, ask not the sparrow how the eagle soars. Like when you're aware that this questioning of the world is just a way of delaying, you don't really engage in it. Only within the holy instant can an honest question honestly be asked. And from the meaning of the question, does the meaningfulness of the answer come. Here is it possible to separate your wishes from the answer so it can be given you and also be received. Here is it possible to separate your wishes from the answer so it can be given you and also be received. The answer is provided everywhere, yet it is only here it can be heard. An honest answer asks no sacrifice because it answers questions truly asked. Interesting sentence. An honest answer asks no sacrifice because it answers questions truly asked. The questions of the world but ask of whom is sacrifice demanded, asking not if sacrifice is meaningful at all. And so, unless the answer tells of whom, it will remain unrecognized, unheard, and thus the question is preserved intact because it gave the answer to itself. The holy instant is the interval in which the mind is still enough to hear an answer that is not entailed within the question asked. It offers something new and different from the question. How could it be answered if it but repeats itself? Questions in the world, or asked from pain or fear, they don't really want an answer. They just want to perpetuate the dream. Therefore, attempt to solve no problems in a world from which the answer has been barred. Attempt to solve no problems in a world from which the answer has been excluded. But bring the problem to the only place that holds the answer lovingly for you. Here are the answers that will solve your problems because they stand apart from them and see what can be answered, what the question is. That's why, like, a wise teacher often doesn't answer the question directly, If a question is asked about form, there will be a seeing underneath. What is the real question? What is the real desire? Within the world, the answers merely raise another question, though they leave the first unanswered. In the holy instant, you can bring the question to the answer and receive the answer that was made for you. Receive the answer that was made for you. Ever since I first heard or read, was when I first was ready for this message, that attempt to solve no problem, but within the holy instant's surety, it has just stayed with me. So helpful. It's from The Quiet Answer, chapter 27, part 4. Does anyone want to share anything?
All right.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, what a perfect opening to the session. Yeah, the first thing I want to expose is just my heart beating, because I feel like it's such a massive hurdle. I always have these thoughts like, oh, someone else's share is more important than mine. I don't want to speak because I feel like I've got a lot to raise up, and I have to get it organised and neat and tidy. It's those usual thoughts that I'm so sick of exposing as well. Then there's that judgment comes in like, oh, not this again. I just got to lay that out there first. Or like, I'll just shut up and someone else will share, and then that'll answer my... It's still this wanting to...
Yes, go for it, Laurie. Nobody has raised their hand. Space is all yours.
Yeah, that it's going to take too much time. I'm just going to give myself permission. It takes as much time as it takes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have time. That's all we have.
Yeah, it's perfect because I've kind of been putting two things off, thinking like, oh, I will take it to the holy instant, or I'll pray and I'll be shown, but really I'm believing that I won't receive the answer. And it keeps coming back. So I just want to share. I want to join on them, really, to say that I don't know what to do. And the first thing is that the medical insurance, we've been paying private medical insurance for over 12 months now. And that was one of the conditions for the visa, so we had to do that. But then my old Spanish teacher in Javier told me that if you pay into that for over 12 months, you can then convert to the Spanish system. Like that gives you kind of permission. But since moving to Malaga, I don't think that's the case. I haven't really looked into it properly, but I've been told no. So I've had the thought to cancel the medical insurance, because it's like 230 quid a month. And then I noticed that I didn't want to do that before the skiing trip. I had all thoughts like, oh, what if something... And it's this weird thing that happens where I'm absolutely confident that I won't get injured. But what if the kids break a bone? What if? So all that protectionism stuff comes in. And then I joined with Gareth on it, and Gareth said, well, why don't we put that money aside, like in a different bank account in case? And I can just see all my preferences. Like, I really don't want to be paying that money out. But I'm not in that. I feel like I've only had one experience where I really just laid it all down. I had no no preference at all about. I prayed, and the answer came straight away. It was such a lovely experience that to say, like, I really don't know. And even if it was a request made on me, and I thought, even if the answer comes and I've got to let this person down, that's what I'll do if it feels guided. But it was just that one time. So it was a bit like what you said, like, I'm asking this question, but there's a whole load of fear. So I'm not going to get in touch with. Yeah, I just wanted to join on that, to say, like, I'm open to not know and let go of the preferences, and what is something that needs. Maybe we just continue paying it. I don't know.
Well, I hear there is a part of you that is in touch with trust and with the answer. So there is all this fear and this questioning and what if, and there is no answer in what if, But there is part of you that is like questioning all that, even considering letting go of this insurance and it sounded like you're not really feeling put it in another account. It will be the same thing. Yeah. So I feel you're clear. There is your right mind is available, accessible, and I think we're here to hold hands with you in that. David always says that insurance is a bet against yourself. And I like that expression. I think that it's very clearly stating it, it's a bet that something's going to happen. So you're going to need some protection. But even that, what kind of protection is that? To have some money if there is a physical injury or something. It's not true protection in that. Or this type of life insurance, if someone dies, can't get their life back.
Yeah, that's answers. Yeah, really, yeah. That's what I felt, to cancel the insurance and let go of that idea of some future protection.
Yeah, because it's so fear-based. It's time-based, fear-based.
Yeah, but then the question comes in, like, what if it impacts the residency application when we eventually get to it?
Yeah, maybe that you can get clear on. Maybe there, because that is a helpful process that you're in, the residency and all of this. So you can first get clear on that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, and then the other thing was I've got some impatience around what you've been speaking about, which is the coming out process to family, and can see, like, control around it. Like, I think, so I've had thoughts like to invite my mum to my new Facebook page. And just a lot of thinking around, I know best, maybe I do this, maybe I do nothing. But it's like this impatience, I want to take that step, and I can see all of the fears that it's flushing up, even around, like, this cult thing that came up, like, that my family will look on that page and they will say, Laurie's into some weird shit, and now the kids are being roped into this, and it's the same stuff, the protection around. So I just want to let it all go and say, I don't know how that's meant to look. I don't know who to invite, if I need to even do that. What do I write letters? There's all these thoughts. Fearful, it all feels fearful, actually.
Yeah. I think it's a lot of releasing of the past, of people, of, what people represent. What was the last thing you said?
like I feel like I want to get on with it because I don't want the same fears to keep coming on repeat. But there's then like this urgency and this, I know what I'll do. I'll try this and I'll try that, and yeah, none of that feels.
Yeah. I mean, it sounded like you felt inspired to invite your mother and that she has shown some interest in this path. So I think you can trust it. It's not, the ego makes it so serious.
Yeah. Because I've even had the thought to say to her, like, I want it just you, I don't want you showing other family members, but then feeling that's some sort of control or, yeah.
No, I think that's okay to have a talk with her about that. And to see her, to feel where she's at before you invite her. There's something with your sound, I don't know, sometimes it goes very low.
I'm on the phone as well, so that's probably... yeah, and the final thing is this, it's the same stuff really, but it's just this resistance to getting still. Like, and I know that's my next step as well. Like I'm praying and I'm saying I'm using everything for healing, and then the triggers come, and I kind of have this belief like, oh, the healing will come despite me, so I don't need to really. And yesterday it was a strong example yesterday. I came in the morning and it's like, oh, the setting's different. Like I'm not at home, so I'm at your place doing the meditation. And I had the thought, because my mind was racing, and then I had the thought, like, what if I just forget Laurie completely? Just forget all about her. And then I entered this piece, but then I fell asleep. So in a way, it was nice that I felt so relaxed to be in the group and still kind of nod off in the chair. But yet there's this resistance. And then the afternoon meditation, it was the same, really peaceful. But last night I went to bed feeling just really overstimulated. Like I came home, there was just mindless stuff on the telly. I found myself sitting there and watching it while I was eating. And I got in bed just like picking and just, overstimulation. And especially since it's the holidays, the house is full, it feels harder to take that time alone. And even as I'm speaking now, I feel annoyed with myself.
Yeah, it feels like you have a very sincere desire to get still. I think, this weekend we will use this retreat for stillness, for hearing.
Yeah, I've been asking, like, show me resistance. And there is, even yesterday during the meditation at the house, this belief that, it's something, there's a belief like it can't just happen now. It needs to be a practice, like a daily practice for weeks and weeks before we get to that point. But it's not true because it happened yesterday.
Oh yeah, it can happen now. It can only happen in the present, not in the future. So even I was busy in the house at your place last night, even that, it can happen even then. Because we find many excuses to why it can't happen. But that's all it is. It's excuses.
It feels like hurting myself.
Yeah.
That's everything.
We're with you. We'll see you here in a few hours.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Love you all.
Yeah, love you too.
Yeah, I love this quiet answer. Because a question asked in fear, yeah, it's just an addiction to fear, to problem. It would answer with another problem. But the stillness, still mind. That's where we can bring the questions and they will actually dissolve. Or we get clear, guided answers. But really, the real answer is a state of mind, state of peace. And we can allow this. I feel this quiet vibe right now. And we can all be inviting this to be with you today. And see where you go off. See where the mind goes into busy inaction. Just bring that to the Holy Spirit. Be very quiet day. Very quiet moment. Love you, everyone. Tomorrow may be the last morning session. It's the last day of the year tomorrow. So we're praying about how it will look from January 1st, and we will let you know.